Hi, I'm 3. I know how to jump. I know how to whisper. I know how to say, I didn't mean ta. Can I tell you something? Something that makes my heart feel skishy. Something I did, and I wish I didn't. It happened outside. On a sunny day. The sky was blue like my cup. The grass was green like my dinosaur. And the wind was soft like mama's scarf. I was wearing my red shoes. The ones that make me run fast. I was looking for sticks and rocks, and maybe a treasure. Then I saw it. Tiny, wiggly, slow, a baby bug. It was walking on the sidewalk, all by itself. Its legs were so little. Its body was shiny. It looked like it didn't know where it was going. I bent down. I watched it. I didn't touch it. Not yet. I just looked. And it looked back. I think. I said, "Hi, baby bug." It didn't say anything, but I think it heard me. I smiled. I felt like I found a secret. Like I was the only one who saw it. I wanted to show Mama. But she was far, talking to someone. So I stayed. Just me and the bug. I watched it crawl. It moved like it was dancing. Like it was trying to find its way home. I wondered, does it have a home? Does it have a bed? Does it have a mama bug and a daddy bug? I think it does. I think they're waiting for it. I think they love it. And then, I did something. Something I didn't think about. Something I didn't plan. I lifted my shoe. And I smashed it. I don't know why I did it. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel mean. I just lifted my shoe. And I smashed it. It made a sound. Not loud. Just a little crunch. Like stepping on a leaf. But it wasn't a leaf. It was a baby bug. I looked down. It wasn't moving anymore. Its tiny legs were still. Its shiny body was flat. I blinked. I felt something weird in my tummy. Like when I eat too much candy. Or when mama says, I'm disappointed. I didn't know what to call it. But it didn't feel good. I looked around. No one saw. Mama was still talking. The trees were quiet. The sky was still blue. But everything felt different. I used to feel big in my red shoes. Now I felt small. I used to feel fast. Now I felt slow. I used to feel happy. Now I felt something else. I Saturday down on the sidewalk, right next to the bug. I didn't touch it. I just looked. I said, I'm sorry. But it didn't move. It didn't blink. It didn't wiggle. I whispered, are you okay? But it didn't answer. I wanted to go back. To before I lifted my shoe. To before I made the crunch. But I couldn't. I tried to think of something to fix it. Maybe I could blow on it. Maybe I could sing to it. Maybe I could find another bug and pretend it was the same one. But none of those things felt right. So I just sat there and stared and felt the twisty thing in my chest. I imagined something. Something that made my eyes feel wet. I imagined the baby bug's mommy and the baby bug's daddy looking for it, calling its name, waiting for it to come home. But it wouldn't, because of me. I didn't mean ta, but I did. And now, I think they're mad at me. Not with yelling, but with silence. The kind that makes you feel like you're not okay. I looked at my shoe. It had a little mark. Just a tiny spot. I wiped it on the grass. But the mark didn't go away. I think it's still there. Even now. Even when mama cleaned them later. Even when I wore them to the park again. I think the mark is inside me now. Not just on the shoe. I didn't tell mama yet. Not in this chapter. I just sat there with it. The quiet, the stillness, the twisty feeling. I didn't cry. Not loud. Just soft. Like a whisper. Like a baby bug. I didn't see them. But I know they were there. The mommy bug. The daddy bug. Looking for their baby. I think they were hiding. Behind the grass. Under the leaves. Watching me. I think they saw what I did. I didn't mean ta. But I did. And now. I think they're mad at me. Not with yelling. Not with chasing. Just with quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you feel small. I Saturday on the sidewalk. My red shoes didn't feel fast anymore. They felt heavy. I looked at the spot where the baby bug used to be. It was just a smudge now. A tiny mark. I whispered, I'm sorry. But the wind didn't answer. The trees didn't move. The bug didn't come back. I imagined the mommy bug crying. Tiny tears. Tiny sobs. I imagined the daddy bug pacing. Looking under rocks. Calling the baby's name. I imagined them finding the smudge. And knowing it was me. I didn't want to play anymore. I didn't want to run. I didn't want to find treasure. I just wanted to go back. To before I lifted my shoe. To before I made the crunch. But I couldn't. I tried to make it better. I picked a flower. I put it next to the smudge. I said, this is for you. But it didn't help. I said, I'll be gentle next time. But it didn't change what I did. I said, please don't be mad. But I still felt the twisty thing in my chest. I imagined the mommy bug and daddy bug talking to each other. She was just a baby, the mommy bug said. She didn't know, the daddy bug said. But she's gone, the mommy bug whispered. And then they were quiet. And I was quiet too. I looked at my hands. They were small, but they could hurt things. I looked at my feet. They were fast, but they could stop things. I didn't know that before. Now I do. I didn't know I could make someone disappear. Now I do. And I didn't like it. I wanted to tell someone. But I didn't know how. I wanted to cry. But the tears were stuck. I wanted to say sorry. But the bug was gone. So I just sat there. And thought. And whispered to the grass. I didn't mean to. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I didn't tell her right away. I wanted to. But my mouth felt stuck. Like when I eat peanut butter. Like when I try to say a big word. I kept thinking, what if she's mad? What if she says I'm bad? What if she doesn't love me anymore? But mama always says, tell me the truth, even if it's hard. So I did. We were in the kitchen. She was making toast. I was sitting on the stool, swinging my feet. I said, Mama? She said, yes, baby. I said, I did something. She turned around. Her eyes were soft. Her hands were still. What did you do? She asked. I looked down. At my red shoes. At the tiny mark. I saw a baby bug. I said. And I smashed it. She didn't say anything. Not for a little bit. Then she came closer. She knelt down. She looked in my eyes. Why did you do that? She asked. I don't know, I said. I just did. She nodded. She didn't yell. She didn't frown. She hugged me. She said, bugs are tiny leaves too. I said, I didn't know. She said, now you do. I nodded. But my eyes felt wet. She wiped my cheek. She kissed my forehead. She said, it's okay to make mistakes. I said, but I feel bad. She said, that means you care. I said, I think the mommy bug and daddy bug are mad at me. She smiled. A little sad smile. She said, they're not mad. They're just missing their baby. I said, because of me. She said, yes. But you're learning. That's what matters. We went outside. To the sidewalk. To the spot. The smudge was still there. The flower I left was wilted. Mama said, do you want to say something? I nodded. I knelt down. I closed my eyes. I said, I'm sorry, baby bug. I didn't know. I'll be gentle now. Mama held my hand. We were quiet, but it didn't feel like the bad kind of quiet. It felt like the healing kind. I think Mama understood. I think she saw the twisty thing in my chest. And helped me untwist it, not all the way. But a little, enough to breathe. Enough to smile. Enough to say, I'll do better. I don't smash bugs anymore. Not even the tiny ones. Not even the ones that crawl near my toys. Not even the ones that look scary. I just watch them. I say, hi. Sometimes I wave. Sometimes I whisper, don't worry. I'm gentle now, because I remember. I remember the baby bug. I remember the crunch. I remember the quiet, and I remember the twisty feeling in my chest. Sometimes I see bugs in the garden. Ants, beetles, ladybugs, I follow them with my eyes. I wonder where they're going. I wonder if they have families. I wonder if they're happy. I don't touch them. I don't chase them. I just let them be, because maybe they're on their way home. To their mommy bug. To their daddy bug, and I don't want to stop that. Mama says I'm more careful now. She says I think before I act. She says I'm growing. I think she's right. I feel different. Not just taller. Not just smarter, but softer. Kinder. More. Something. I don't know the word. But I know the feeling. It's like when you hold a feather. Or a baby's hand. Or a secret. It's light. But it matters. Sometimes I still feel sad. When I see the spot on the sidewalk. When I wear my red shoes. When I think about the mommy bug and daddy bug, but it's not the bad kind of sad. It's the remembering kind. The learning kind. The kind that helps you grow. I think regret is like a shadow. It follows you. But it doesn't have to scare you. It just reminds you of what you did. Of what you'll do better next time. And I want to do better. Even if I'm only three, I'm only three. But I think I understand something now. Something big. Something quiet. Even tiny leaves matter. Even bugs. Even baby bugs. Even the ones we don't notice. Even the ones we don't understand. They walk. They wiggle. They try to find their way. Just like me, I used to think bugs were just bugs. Little things. Crawly things. Things to squish, but now I think they're more. They have families. They have homes. They have feelings, maybe not like mine. But still real. I think about the baby bug sometimes. When I'm outside. When I see a leaf move. When I hear the wind whisper, I think about what I did. And how it made me feel. And how it made the world feel smaller, but I also think about what I learned. About being gentle. About thinking first. About saying sorry. Mama says that's called empathy. It means feeling what someone else might feel. Even if they're tiny. Even if they don't talk. I like that word. Empathy. It sounds like a hug. It sounds like a blanket. It sounds like a promise. So now, I try to be kind. To bugs. To people. To everything small. Because small things matter. Because tiny leaves matter. Because one little choice can change everything. This was my story. My biggest regret. My tiny mistake. My big feeling. But now I want to hear yours. What's something you did that you wish you didn't, even if it was small? Even if it was long ago? Even if it was just a bug, write it in the comments. I'll read it. I'll listen. I'll learn, because this isn't just my story. It's ours. We're asking people from age 1 to 100, what's your biggest regret? Today was age 3. Next time, it'll be age 4. And every story brings us closer. To each other. To ourselves. So click subscribe. Press like. Share this video with someone who needs a hug, and remember. Even tiny leaves matter. Even tiny mistakes teach us something. Even tiny voices can say something big.